story time. When I was a kid, every day after school, I would power walk home as fast as I could to make absolute sure I didn't miss my favorite TV show in the whole world, X-Play. Now, X-Play was basically a 30-minute daily news show just about video games, and to me and my friend group, this was our politics.
Did you guys see that someone made chess in Little Big Planet 2? No way. That's amazing. Whoa. Did you guys see we got Osama bin Laden? Cool.
Anyways, one day, I got home from school, sat on the couch, bag of hot Cheetos in one hand, glass of milk in the other, and X-Play was dedicating an entire episode to Fallout 3. I was hooked. The universe seemed so cool, and watching a teddy bear get blasted out of a rocket launcher to make an enemy's head explode in slow motion was all teenage me ever wanted. When the game came out, I drove straight from my job of bagging groceries to GameStop to buy a copy, and from there, I was hooked. I spent months exploring every inch of the Capital Wasteland. I knew everything. Hell, I reckon I could walk from Megaton to River City without even using my Pip-Boy. I reckon I could walk from the Republic of Dave to...
This needs to stop! Now!
Okay, you get the idea. I played the game a lot, and after being obsessed with this game for months, I started reading more about the franchise's history and learned that the previous games were 2D RPGs. I still remember reading that and immediately imagining a game like Final Fantasy VI or Pokémon or Chrono Trigger, but based in the Fallout universe. I wanted to play that game so badly. But when I finally downloaded Fallout 1 and 2 on Steam, this was not what I was expecting. This is great, but it's just not what I imagined. So today, we make the game I dreamed of when I was a kid. Setting: spaceship. Specifically, this spaceship that I found for free online. Your mission? Save your girlfriend who's been kidnapped by aliens or something. I don't know. First thing we have to do, make art for the characters. Let's go. I decided to style the characters after the Pokemon Fire Red sprites since I wanted the game to be 16-bit, and that's pretty much how I draw anyway. The first enemy sprites I made were for my version of the Super Mutant. We'll call him Super Mutant. And he has a cute little tummy. Then I made this blue robot. Then I made it purple, and since that was really easy, I also made it red, green, Italian, relatable, and hot pink. Now, back to the spaceship. First, I remove the background. Then, take a chunk out the middle, and there's the setting for our game. Next is to make the tile set. A tile set is basically just a collection of images that we use to build the floor and walls of our level. Once we've got those drawn out, we can import them into a program called Tiled, where we can actually build the layout of our spaceship interior. I'm going to start with a tight hallway so we can teach the player the basic mechanics. After that, a wide open room with lots of options to take down enemies. Finally, we'll go back to another tight hallway to take the player to the end. After all the art was imported into Unity, I set up the animations, and once the characters started moving their arms and legs, I felt guilty that they couldn't actually change position.
Help me!
So I implemented tile-based movement by following this tutorial from Games Plus James. Once the characters were able to move, I made it so the NPCs could spot the player. That means if you walk in front of an enemy, they'll attack. I also named this Super Mutant. His name is Harold. Next, the robot. And there he is. Alright, time to kill Harold. The battle scene has always looked like this in my head. I like this angle because it almost feels like a third-person shooter. Well, if you squint, that is. Now, what's this black box we have down here? It may just look like a black box, but that's because you're not using your imagination, you dumb piece of hole. This black box doesn't just show the menu. I mean, it does that, but it also has to change when the player enters cats, and it has to be able to tell the player that they spanked Harold's boom boom for 100 damage. Essentially, this black box controls what's going on in the rest of the battle. It works like this. We keep a collection of actions. If there are no actions in the queue, we show this main menu. Once the player chooses what they're going to do, we add that as an action to the queue. Then, the opponent chooses what they're going to do, and we add that to the queue as well. If there are actions in the queue, we show them in order in a new black box that goes on top of this one. Once they've been shown and the player hits next, their butt is kicked from the queue and we move on to the next action until there are none left again. Then, boom, back to the main menu. And all of this just
works. It's not, I'm not kidding.
Now, when most people think about the Fallout franchise, they think about one thing specifically. VATS. VATS lets the player pause, zoom in on an enemy, and choose a specific limb to mutilate. The success of said mutilation is based on the player's stats and the distance between the player and the enemy. Now, I'm going to make my version of VATS, except for I'm calling it Cats. And it has nothing to do with my 2 cats who I love more than the world and everything in it. So stop asking. After the animations were set up and changing based on which limb the player had selected, I added this VHS effect from this video by Hero Games to mimic the old school TV feel of the original VATS. Finally, it was time to come up with a formula to determine the odds of you hitting your shot in Cats. And this seems to work most of the time, so we'll go with it. Alright, see that StimCan button? Just sitting there taking up space? Not anymore. Check this out. We rolling? Action.
And the Oscar goes to
Gray Balloon.
Now to make the boy shoot his gun. I said gun!
Please clap.
Then we make the super mutant punch. Dang, I didn't know we were making the sequel to Rocky. Once you have the option to murder, you choose to. Congratulations, you killed Harold. Now we have to tell the game about your atrocities. Rest in peace, Harold. In order to properly memorialize Harold, I created a new file. We'll call it Lost Souls. It's empty right now because the people of this world lived a peaceful existence before you came along, but, well, things change. Anyways, every time an enemy is killed, their name will be added to this list. That way, the game can remember who you've already brutalized and destroy them over and over again. Forever. And on that note, I think we're ready for some playtesting. Bring in the playtester. Hi, sir. What's your name?
Where am I?
I said, what's your name?
Justin?
Well, Justin. Do you want to play a game?
No.
Grab the controller. Okay, just play the game and tell me what you think, then you can leave.
Okay.
So what do you think?
I just started.
5 minutes later.
Okay, now what do you think?
I mean, I don't know, man. It's kind of boring. There's no sound, no boss. There's nothing to explore.
He likes it. Okay, so we're done. Thank you so much. Take the playtester back to the probing room for... Do you hear that?
Yeah, what is that?
Oh my god. It's God Howard. What? No, it doesn't I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't really know about that. I was kind of thinking about starting a cooking channel. Like and subscribe.